Green Building Practices, presented by the Institute for Public Administration at the University of Delaware. Energy inefficient commercial and residential buildings have led to increasing environmental concerns that have negative impacts on community and economic sustainability. A report by the U.S. Energy Information Administration found that these buildings are responsible for 1/3 of the greenhouse gas emissions in the United States, as well as approximately 1/3 of the energy and 2/3 of electricity use. Through an integrated approach, local governments can utilize the 5 principles of green building practices to change the way buildings operate, while fostering economic development, protecting the environment, and promoting the foundation for a sustainable community. Today's commitment to energy efficiency, sustainability, and protection has placed demands on local governments that oversee the construction of new buildings and the renovation of existing structures. The 2012 International Energy Conservation Code and 2015 version of the International Green Construction Code provides regulatory frameworks focused on green building requirements and complementary rating systems, like the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Certification Program, also known as LEED. Green buildings contribute to the complete communities model by fostering environmentally friendly building practices that generate opportunities to enhance the quality of life and well-being for its citizens, businesses, and public-private partnerships. Green building practices provide a variety of benefits for communities, as identified by the University of Delaware's Center for Energy and Environmental Policy. By adopting green building strategies, local governments can expand and improve upon local economic development opportunities and market demands for sustainable development, as well as other social, environmental, and economic benefits. Many states, including Delaware, have passed legislation and developed initiatives focused on supporting sustainable energy investments and financial incentives. In 2010, Governor Jack Markell signed Executive Order 18, requiring the state's Office of Management and Budget and DENREC to monitor the energy and carbon emissions of all state-owned and state-leased facilities through the Energy Star program. A variety of actions have also occurred in the state legislature, including the establishment of an Energy Efficiency Investment Fund and a Green and Better Building Advisory Committee in Delaware. In addition, Delaware's Code for Energy Conservation provides a legal basis for green building of residential dwellings. A variety of programs exist in the state of Delaware that have promoted the use of green buildings. The Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control's Division of Energy and Climate has taken the lead on providing information on green building incentives in Delaware. Other programs are utilized like those listed here, which provide funding through municipal green energy grants. A collaborative research agreement between the University of Delaware and the Delaware Department of Natural Resources and Environmental Control initiated Charging Up Delaware program in 2014. It is hoped that these charging stations will support greater use of electric vehicles, which do not release air pollution or carbon dioxide, unlike gasoline-fueled vehicles. In 2014, Delaware River and Bay Authority officials announced plans to install 2 electric vehicle charging stations at the Lewis terminal of the Cape May Lewis Ferry. The charging stations will be provided free of charge to the DRBA through the Charging Up Delaware program. The state of Delaware has been at the forefront for green building practices. Created in June 2012, the Energy and Sustainable Leaders Roundtable engages businesses and development communities in energy use reduction and minimizing their environmental and carbon footprints. With AstraZeneca, Brightfields, and Barclays as several of the key members, the Roundtable is working toward its goal of sustainable building construction and operation. Local governments can adapt their policies and regulations to provide a framework for green building practices and other resilient options. Many municipalities are incorporating a vision of sustainability into local government comprehensive plans, which guide future land use and development opportunities. Zoning codes often conflict with attempts by developers to design buildings with green materials or energy-efficient features. Local governments should review and amend regulations to remove zoning code impediments to the construction and retrofitting of green buildings. Many local governments have adopted green building practices that include new building certifications, codes, rating systems, and performance measures, many of which have led to increased competition in the marketplace. Several of these systems in place include the U.S. Green Buildings Council Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design Rating System, also known as LEED, the 2012 International Energy Conservation Code, and the International Green Construction Codes. There are also a variety of green building incentives that local governments may consider to attract development, including tax incentives, density area ratio bonuses, expedited permitting, and reduced cost building permits. Potential investments in green building technology require an understanding of the materials and proper training. The Environmental Protection Agency's Smart Growth recommendations focus on technical assistance as a means to introduce and achieve development goals toward more sustainable infrastructure. In February of 2013, the City of Newcastle was selected to receive technical assistance focused on sustainable strategies for small cities and rural areas. Local governments can also incorporate standards for private development, such as the steps illustrated here by the U.S. Green Building Council. Municipal governments across the country have instituted sound building and development practices focused on sustainability. The town of Edmonston, Maryland, transformed its vision and plan for environmental sustainability into a green street project that is designed to provide transportation options, environmentally responsible practices, and other measures beneficial to their citizens. The City of Boston was the first city in the nation to require a green building standard through municipal zoning requirements, requiring all large-scale building projects to meet LEED certification standards. Additionally, the City of Baltimore has instituted new zoning and building codes, which mandate certain buildings of at least 10,000 square feet to be LEED Silver certified. Delaware has made significant progress toward the development and retrofitting of energy-efficient buildings. In 2010, Delaware's 3 counties and 10 largest municipalities received federal energy efficiency and conservation block grants directly from the U.S. Department of Energy as part of the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act of 2009. In 2011, 21 Sussex County towns received energy efficiency and conservation block grants to make energy-saving improvements to municipal buildings. Through the energy efficiency and conservation block grants, 15 Delaware municipalities have installed solar power systems on their municipal buildings. A report by the Environment America Research and Policy Center has identified the state of Delaware as a leader in solar energy. The Delaware Municipal Electric Corporation, also known as DMEC, has invested in some of Delaware's largest facilities. In addition, Wilmington, Dover, and Kent and Newcastle County governments have installed solar power on their office and public work facilities. This presentation was made possible by the Delaware Department of Transportation and Delaware's Office of State Planning Coordination. This presentation was developed by Jeffrey Heath, Public Administration Fellow at the University of Delaware's Institute for Public Administration.